Welcome guys to our today's video. We are going to look at our rental house management system, and our system has the following modules: 1. House category registration, rent setting. You can be able to view vacant and occupied houses. You can be able to register a new tenant and deregister a tenant. You can be able to collect rent and deposit. Can be able to view the rent and the deposit payment report, that is the daily collection and the general report, and then you can be able to view the house statement, and you can be able to generate invoice. Now let's launch our system. This system is loading. This is now our system, our rental house management system. We have various tabs, that is for houses, tenant, payment and report. The houses, we have rent and house setting. You can be able to view the vacant house, and you can be able to view the house statement of each house. So in this case, at the rent and house setting, you can be able to add an apartment, an estate. Like here we can say we have apartment 10. The amount of rent required per month is maybe 100,000. The deposit required is 100,000. Then we have apartment maybe apartment 11, 12. You can add all the houses. Maybe you can be an agent managing some landlords property. You can include all of them here. You indicating the rent per month and the amount of deposit required each month. And then at the apartment 10, you could be having like various houses or rooms. Then we click here house number registration, so that we can indicate the number of houses or rooms within that house, within that apartment. Here we have our apartment 10. Here apartment 10, we can be having house number A10. Here we declare it is vacant. Also we have apartment 10, house number A10. We declare the house vacant since it is first time registration. Apartment 10, we have another room. We declare it is vacant. So you can include all the apartments or estate you are managing. It also declaring the number of houses or rooms. And then that is the tab for house category registration and the house. Then we can view the vacant houses at any time. In this case, we can, our apartment 10, we can look, all the 3 rooms are vacant. And then the house statement, you can view the statement of a house. Like in this case, we can look at apartment D. We can be able to trace all the tenants that have been in that house. You can see, like in this case, the first person registration date was Friday 1st December 2017. The tenant left 30th April 2018. Another one joined 1st December 2018, then left Tuesday 30th April 2019. Then the next person joined 1st December, left Friday 1st May 2021. Then the next tenant registered with us Tuesday 4th May 2021. The tenant is still occupying the house. You can view all the statement of each apartment, each house at any time. And then tenant tenant registration. This is where you can be able to register a new tenant, you can be able to deregister a tenant, and you can view the tenants occupying the various houses or apartment or estate. Like in this case, a new tenant, we could be having a new tenant called maybe John. The tenant ID of John, you can indicate is maybe, maybe A10. That is the tenant ID of John. We indicate the a number is required there. We indicate maybe the tenant of John is maybe 5,000. Address can include maybe CBD or anywhere. Then we indicate the cell number of the tenant. The date of registration is today. The status is active. Then house category, we indicate the apartment John wants to occupy. It's apartment 10. Then we refresh. You can see the number of houses or rooms within apartment 10. We locate John to house number A10. Then we declare the house now is occupied by John. Then we click next. We indicate the details of the next tenant. You can be having somebody like Shalom, tenant ID 5001. Then the address can indicate them. Then the cell of the tenant. Then we locate the tenant to apartment 10. We refresh. Can now see we are only remaining with 2 houses since the first one was occupied. Then we locate this tenant to house number A11. Then we declare this house it is now occupied. Then we can proceed to the next tenant. Can maybe indicate maybe tenant ID. Now we indicate the address, the cell number of the tenant. Then the date is the tenant registering with us is today. The status is active. Then the house category, we want to locate the tenant to apartment 10. So now we are only remaining with this house that is vacant. Now we want to locate it to this tenant. We declare the house is now occupied, and then we can click add, and then we can be able to view if the tenant details are captured in our database. It was apartment 10. We can see we now have all the houses occupied. Then we can view the vacant houses. We can check our apartment 10. It is not vacant since it is not in our list, since it is all the houses are occupied. If the house could be having a vacant house, it could be listed here. These are all the apartment or estates with vacant houses. You can check at D. Can see there is one room that is vacant. Can check maybe estate 2. We have the vacant houses in apartment this estate. You can be able to view all the vacant at any time. Then we can be able to deregister a tenant. Like in this case, we can go to our apartment, maybe apartment 10. We want the tenant who occupying house number A10 move out of the house. We want to deactivate. So here we declare now the house is vacant. The tenant status left, and the date the tenant the date the tenant left, we indicate is maybe that 1st May 2021. And then if we refresh now, the house is not occupied now. We can view if the house is vacant, that is apartment 10. We search now apartment 10, house number 810 is vacant. This is the same. You can view the vacant houses, and you can check our apartment 10. Now we are having only two tenants that are occupying the house. And then we have the tab for payment. You can be able to pay rent or deposit. Under rent payment here, the tenant ID, we can include maybe 500. That is the tenant ID. The tenant paid 30,000. That is the amount of rent. And then the banking date is today. Payment mode, maybe he or she paid through bank. Maybe the reference number can indicate maybe post-pay. Then it's served by Mr. Ben. Then the rent month start date. The tenant is paying for the rent of May. We indicate the 1st day of this month. That is 1st May 2019. And then we save the transaction. Then you can register next transaction. Tenant ID, we indicate to amount paid, maybe paid 40,000. Banking date is today. Payment mode, maybe Equity or M-Pesa. Reference number, indicate the reference number. Served by rent for the month of the 1st day of the month, that is 1st May 2019. Since the client is paying rent for the month of May, then we can go. You can continue adding all the receipt you are receiving from the tenant. Then you can be able to pay deposit. That is our tenant ID. That is 5001. Joined today. The amount of deposit paid, maybe he or she paid 25,000 shilling. That is the deposit amount. Banking date is today. The payment mode may be M-Pesa, served by the reference number. Then we save the transaction. Then you can go to the new transaction. We have the tenant ID 5002. The amount of deposit paid, maybe the tenant paid 30,000 shilling. The banking date is today. We indicate today. Then the payment mode may be Equity or M-Pesa. We indicate KCP. Then we indicate the reference number of the payment. And then we click save. You can continue adding all the tenants, and then we can now be able to view reports. The report, you can be able to view the rent report. That is maybe the data collection report, or the general report. That is the monthly report. You can be able to view the tenants with outstanding balances. And the rent, click, that is, we have data collection. You can view the amount of rent collected daily. And the general report, you can be able to view the tenant with outstanding balances. At the data collection, can indicate our apartment 10. The banking date is today. All those who paid today. Click and see. We can be able to today. We have received 70,000 from 2 tenants who are occupying apartment 10. You can view any date, any apartment or any house at any time. Then we have the general report. We can be able to view the tenant with outstanding balances at any time. We have our house category, that is apartment 10. rent for the month starting on, that is 1st May 2021, can be able to search. We can be able to see these two tenants each pay. The first one paid 30,000, the second one paid 40,000, and the amount of rent required for the apartment 10 is 100,000 shilling. The amount paid was 30,000, so the tenant has an outstanding balance of 70,000 to be paid. Then the second one paid 40,000, outstanding balance is 60,000. You can be able to generate an invoice by clicking that tab of invoice. We view all the invoices. We have the two invoices for the two tenants. You can be able to print. You can also generate a general report whereby we can be able to view all the tenants with outstanding balances, and then we follow up. In this case, we can follow with those with the outstanding balances. You can be having like 100 tenants, 1,000. Can be able to generate the report and then follow up. You can also view the daily deposit collection report. Like in this case, we have our apartment 10. We check through the banking date. We refresh. We can apartment 10. Nobody paid the deposit. Banking date. You can first May. Nobody paid. Daily collection report. You can see we have 2 tenants, 2 paid deposits today, and we can view the amount of deposit paid. And we can have a list of those with outstanding deposit. We are in our apartment. You can see the 2 tenants, the total deposit paid each, the deposit required, the list of the amount of outstanding deposit. You can see. And then that is how our system works. The system can be customized to fit your organization. You can contact us through email or through this phone number. And also, in case of any database development, you can also contact us. Thank you for watching.